A very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1, bringing you the news this evening. I'm Stephen Machado.
And I'm Umitra Bekum. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Spill gates reopened at Victoria, Randenigala and Rantambe reservoirs. Residents in nearby areas advised to stay alert and monitor water levels along the Mahaveli River. Landslide red alerts issued for Kandy and Nuwara Eliya districts. Supplementary estimate of 500 billion rupees tabled in Parliament to aid those affected by the disaster. A question for the opposition.
තනි පුද්ගලයා විදියට හරි නැත්නම් අර පෙච්චා සංවිධාන වලට විදියට හරි කරපු වැඩ කොටසෙන් 100ට එකක්වත් මේ විපක්ෂයේ කට්ටිය මේ ජාතික වශයෙන් වෙච්ච මේ ව්‍යසනය මැද මැදිහත් වුණාද එහෙම නැත්නම් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් ඒකෙන් ගොඩ එන්න මේ විපක්ෂය උදව් කරාද නැත්නම් සහයෝගය දක්වද කියලා අපි අහන්න කැමතියි.
In your top story tonight, Sri Lanka is bracing for continued showers as an easterly wave influences weather patterns across the island. Here's the latest with Newsfirst Hashini Bhadrana.
The Department of Meteorology says that due to the influence of the easterly wave, the prevailing weather conditions can intensify and continue in the northern and the eastern parts of the island. Now, accordingly, heavy showers exceeding 100 millimeters can be expected in the eastern, over and central provinces as well as in the Polonnaruwa district. Meanwhile, general public has been urged and warned to take precautionary measures to avoid or mitigate any harm that can be caused by the thunderstorms, the lightning as well as strong winds that this showery condition can bring about. And also fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can also be expected in several parts of the island this evening or later tonight as well. Now, according to this situation, several spill gates of several reservoirs have been opened due to this situation, and especially the water levels of the Mahaveli River keep rising due to this current weather situation.
The Department of Meteorology warns that certain areas in Kalutara, Ratnapura, Gaul and Mathura districts may experience thunder showers accompanied by severe lightning. The advisory was issued as a precaution against strong lightning activity. Meanwhile, all schools in the central province will be closed tomorrow and on Monday. Due to heavy rainfall, spill gates of Victoria, Randenigala and Rantambe reservoirs have been opened, causing water levels in the lower Mahaveli River to rise once again. As the water levels increased, the Polonnaruwa Sungavila main road near the Periyaru bridge was closed again at around 11 am. The police checkpoint at the location was removed and re-established about 1 kilometer away, according to our correspondent. On the Somavatiya Sungavila main road, the section between milepost 35 and 36, approximately 3 kilometers from Somavatiya shrine, was submerged by noon today. The Polonnaruwa Batiklo main road at Manampitiya also went underwater this afternoon due to rising Mahaveli River levels. Meanwhile, the overflow of the Navagiri River has caused flooding in several villages in the Kalavanchikudi, Vellavali Divisional Secretariat in the Batiklo district. In the Kiran Divisional Secretariat, areas including Pondukalchenai, Akurana and Muruttane face travel disruptions due to the overflow of Maduroya. The Kiran Toppigala main road is also submerged. 5 spill gates of the Min area reservoir have been opened, releasing water into the Kaudulla reservoir. 2 spill gates of Kalavava, each 6 feet wide, have been opened, sending water through Kala Oya into Rajangane reservoir. At the Rajangane reservoir, 6 spill gates remain open. Heavy showers were reported in the Mathale district this evening.
Taking into consideration the heavy rainfall exceeding 150 millimeters as well as possible landslides over the past 24 hours, the National Building Research Organization at about 2 a.m. this morning issued red alerts for several areas in the Kandy and the Nuwara Eliya districts. Now, accordingly, in the Kandy district, Doluwa, Ududumbara and Madadumbara divisional secretariat areas, or residents in these divisional secretariat areas, have been alerted to evacuate immediately due to this red alert notice. Now, if you consider the Nuwara Eliya district, several residents in the divisional secretariat areas such as Maturata, Hanguranketa, Nildandahin as well as Walabane, these residents have also been asked to evacuate due to the prevailing weather conditions and the red alert that is currently in effect in these areas as well.
A landslide occurred this morning along the Hunnasgiriya Mimure Lulwatta road about 1 kilometer from the Hunnasgiriya section. 2 houses were damaged and 1 person sustained injuries and was admitted to the Kandy National Hospital. Due to the landslide risk, 25 families were evacuated with the assistance of the police and army.
Pansal dan amma. Pansal dan no pansal. Ya wada gatta nan hariya. Pansal dan. Me oyala tenna dakkala.
Many residents had already been temporarily sheltered at Sivaneshwara Vidyalaya following previous disaster conditions in the area. Security forces also took steps to evacuate these individuals from the high-risk zones.
What progress has been made for the resettlement of people who are residing in areas prone to rockfalls and landslides? This is the explanation of the National Building Organization.
With the heavy rains, the possibility of rockfalls and landslides is very high because if the necessary conditions are met, that is, if the soil is saturated with water due to rainfall, and considering the nature and steepness of the existing slopes, landslides may occur. Therefore, you should pay close attention to the announcements given. If you are building a new house, we request that you obtain the necessary approvals, seek proper advice, and construct your house accordingly. With the help of satellite images, the National Building Research Institute has identified the areas where landslides occurred, specifically those over 10 meters. 1,436 such locations have been identified. The actual number of vulnerable locations is likely higher because these figures only include landslides larger than 10 meters. Additionally, locations with landslides smaller than 10 meters or where rocks have rolled or collapsed are not included in this count. If they were, this number would increase.
The budget approval of the Udunuvara Pradeshi Sabha was disrupted when a member of the Samgi Jana Balavekya intervened. The recent natural disasters caused by Cyclone Ditwa severely affected many residents. SJB members protested during the council meeting, alleging that the budget had not been properly prepared.
पैकिंग करන්න බෑ කරන්න අමාරු හේතුව මේකේ කලින් දීපු එකේ සෑහෙන වෙනස් දැන් තියෙන එකෙත් වෙනස් මෙන්න පැයකමාර කාලයක් දීලා තියෙනවා දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ අතේ මේක දීලානේ මොකද්ද කරන්නේ සභා මේ රැස්වීමදී ඔබතුමාලා තීරණයක් ගන්න අපිට මේක කාලේ දෙන්නේ නැහැ කෝටි 19 ආ දැනුවේද මේක හදපු අය වැරදි ඒ නිසා මේ හදපු එක පැයකමාරකට අපිට සලකා බලන්න බෑ පැයකමාරකට පස්සේ ඔබතුමාලා තික කන්නයන් සමග හෝ කන්නයන් නායක මන්ත්‍රී කියලා
Claiming insufficient time, SJB members expressed their opposition again by tearing up the budget document. As a result, the meeting was adjourned.
Abdul Samad, the member of the Lanka Pradesh Sabha representing the Sarvajana Balaya, was ordered into remand custody until the 29th of December on charges of murder. The decision came after Samad was produced before the Polonnaruwa Magistrates Court. The case was filed based on a violent incident last Saturday when a group of disaster-affected residents approached the councillor seeking assistance. What began as a plea for help allegedly escalated into a brutal assault. One individual sustained injuries during the altercation was hospitalized.
Sri Lanka today received a 14 metric ton humanitarian aid shipment from the French government aimed at assisting communities affected by the recent storms.
Sri Lanka received a humanitarian donation from the government of France, a 14 metric ton consignment of essential relief supplies aimed at supporting communities affected by recent disasters. The consignment was officially handed over at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake in the presence of French Ambassador to Sri Lanka, Remy Lambert, and European Union Ambassador Carmen Moreno, along with senior officials from Sri Lanka's Disaster Management Centre.
As a partner of Sri Lanka in the Indian Ocean, France is proud to contribute to the humanitarian response to the crisis of Storm Ditwa. With the European Union, we France are participating to a shipment of humanitarian assistance in the aftermath of the crisis. In addition to that, we will continue to work closely with the Sri Lankan government for the recovery and the reconstruction of the country.
Of European solidarity with Sri Lanka. The collaboration between France and the European Union is making possible that the people will receive this very necessary aid.
The aid package includes blankets, tents, sanitary items and kitchen equipment.
The government of Japan, together with the assistance of UNICEF Sri Lanka, provided hygiene kits and relief items valued at $500,000 today in Colombo.
The handover took place during a meeting between Ambassador Akio Somata and Honorable Dr. Susil Ranasinghe, Minister of Housing, Construction and Water Supply, with UNICEF representative Emma Brigham also in attendance. This contribution forms part of a $2.5 million emergency grant announced by Japan on the 16th of December in partnership with UNICEF, the World Food Programme and the International Organization for Migration. The aid targets communities severely affected by recent disasters across central, over, eastern, western and northwestern provinces. Through UNICEF, Japan will support WASH, which stands for Water, Sanitation and Hygiene Initiatives, and child protection programs, including child-friendly spaces and psychosocial support. The assistance aims to ensure access to safe water, repair damaged water supply facilities and prevent outbreaks of waterborne diseases through hygiene promotion. Ambassador Somata emphasized that this aid addresses urgent needs while safeguarding public health. He reaffirmed Japan's solidarity with Sri Lanka during this challenging period, pledging continued cooperation to help vulnerable communities recover. The Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief drive continues its humanitarian mission for the 21st consecutive day, delivering essential relief to disaster-affected communities. Starting early this morning, relief teams set out to Badulla, Nuwara, Kolonnawa and Puttalam, ensuring aid reaches families struggling in the aftermath of severe weather.
Families lost their homes. People lost their loved ones. They endured days of hardship. From where they fell, they are rising again. Standing as a pillar of strength, the Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief drive continues its journey, powered by the unwavering support of the people. This relief mission seeks out those affected and serves tirelessly for the sake of the nation. Yesterday, the convoy that departed for Badulla district distributed essential supplies late into the night. Among the beneficiaries were 500 families in Badulla, over Paranagama and Galahagama villages, as well as 30 displaced families sheltered at the Badulla Hevanakumura Safety Centre. The convoy also extended support to communities in Shilau and Taturoya, working until midnight to deliver aid. Essential items were distributed to villages in Nathandiya Divisional Secretariat, including Mutti Bandivela, Kavatiyavatha, Vattakalliya and Egodavalla. Meanwhile, thousands continue to arrive at MTV-MBC head office premises and the Department Broadcast Centre, handing over vital supplies. Last night, a team carrying these donations departed for Nora Elia Valapane, delivering aid to residents of Morahela in the Nildanda Hinna Divisional Secretariat. This afternoon, another convoy left the MTV-MBC head office premises to assist affected communities in Kolonava. Problems can be solved with time, but the solidarity of these people gives strength to every solution. Tomorrow marks day 22 of the Sirasa Sahana Yatra flood relief drive.
News First with the people.
News First, main sponsor.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
From the earth to the deep blue seas and the skies above, Dialogue, Sri Lanka's #1 network, connects the hearts of Sri Lankans to the world. And now, our future is victorious. Advancing a nation through its people.
Where to, madam?
To the future.
Dialogue 5G Ultra. Experience Sri Lanka's #1 5G network today.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Welcome back to the news. A supplementary estimate of 500 billion rupees was presented to Parliament to restore normalcy to lives disrupted by recent natural disasters. Parliament convened at 9:30 a.m. under the chairmanship of Speaker Dr. Jagat Vikramaratne, following a special request by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The supplementary estimate will be referred to the Committee on Public Finance for approval.
Honourable Speaker, I present the supplementary estimate number 1 of 2026 and the document referred to under section 16(4) A, B, C and D of the Public Financial Management Act number 44 of 2024. I move that this supplementary estimate and the document be referred to the Committee on Public Finance. I present the annual reports of the National Institute of Education for the years 2022 and 2023 and an annual report of the State Printing Corporation for the year 2023. I move that these reports be referred to the Sectoral Oversight Committee on Education, Manpower and Human Capital. I also present the report on the submission of observations and steps taken in terms of the Standing Order 119(4) of the Parliament with regards to the matters mentioned on the Sri Lanka Customs in the report of the Committee on Public Accounts which was presented to Parliament. I move that this report be referred to the Committee on Public Accounts.
A debate on disaster-related issues was held in Parliament, during which a heated discussion arose between the opposition and the government, centred around Kolonava.
Deputy Speaker, you have visited Kolonava. Floodwaters have swept through, leaving devastation behind. Garbage piles remain uncleared and people cannot return to their homes. Mosquitoes are everywhere, garbage heaps everywhere. The government promised 25,000 rupees for cleaning homes, but families still cannot resettle. In the Kolonava Divisional Secretariat area, around 30,000 people have been affected. As of yesterday evening, only about 9,000 families had received the 25,000 rupees. The government claims it will now give 50,000 rupees per family, totaling 50 million rupees. But these are empty promises. Deputy Speaker, I say today, this is all false. Every house was underwater from 4 to 12 feet. So why compensate only 3,000 families? What about the remaining 27,000 homes? Back in 2016, when floods hit, the Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake introduced an insurance scheme. We gave 10,000 rupees to 23,000 families in the first round to help them return home, and 15,000 rupees in the second round for essential household items, done properly. But now, how is the government acting irresponsibly during floods? They provided only 3 boats. I arranged 2 boats myself, and Sajid Premadasa arranged 2 more. More boats came from private businesses. Is this how the government responds?
In the past, our country faced similar disasters. For example, the Salawa Army Camp explosion occurred more than 9 years ago, and compensation for all victims is still incomplete. Today, we hear complaints about Kolonnawa, but what about Mithotamulla, where the garbage mountain collapsed and killed people? Has that issue been resolved? Families still live under the shadow of that tragedy without proper housing. During the disaster, some opposition groups entered these affected homes just to take photos and exploit the situation for politics. They are the ones making false claims about Kolonnawa today. What did they do previously? Even during these floods, they tried to politicize relief efforts, pressuring officials and staging protests. We are not irrigation engineers, but we know that in Kolonnawa there are numerous unauthorized constructions, many built by these same politicians. When we went to clean homes and assist residents, they spread propaganda saying we were coming to demolish houses. That's cheap politics. Garbage had to be temporarily dumped in open areas, and when we did that, they misled people, claiming we were dumping waste in front of their homes. They also claim the government provided only 3 boats. Yes, they say they gave 1 boat, but how many boats did they really provide? According to official data, 17,052 homes suffered partial damage and 130 homes were completely destroyed. Yet they claim only 3,000 homes were affected. This is pure politics. These are the same people who waited to exploit tragedies for political gain.
Meanwhile, the leader of the opposition stated in Parliament again today that the IMF agreements must be changed.
විශේෂයෙන් IMF එකේ දේශීය ප්‍රධානී එවන් පපන්ජියෝ සමාවෙන්න එවන් පපජියෝගු
I must say that when we met IMF resident representative Evan Papageorgiou, he said this to us. I beg your pardon, we haven't met him so far. We understand it through the statements he made to the media. I must make that correction. Therefore, I propose to the government, please at least now talk to the IMF and within this disastrous situation, work to change the IMF agreement which the previous government agreed to. Within this IMF framework, this is my proposal.
මේ විසනකාරී තත්ත්වය තුළ ගිය රජයේ එකක වුණු IMF ගිවිසුම මේ IMF රාමුව තුළ වෙනස් කරන්න කටයුතු කරන්නයි කියන යෝජනාව මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ කරනවා.
Views were expressed by several other opposition MPs as well.
රජයේ නිලධාරීන් කාලගුණ දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව කියන කාරණා ඔබ පිළිගත්තද?
Did you accept what the government officials and the meteorological department said? These things must be investigated. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it has rained more than 400 millimeters before too. Even previously, when it rained more than 500 millimeters, there were landslides. More than 100 died. In that sense, this time is relatively better. Honorable Deputy Speaker, do not be prepared for those kinds of talks. This is a joke to you. You are sitting there snickering. Don't get us started. You wait until people are buried under mounds of earth and then come here prepared to make jokes.
ඔබතුමාලා මිනිස්සු පස් කඳුවට යට වෙනකම් බලන් ඉඳලා දැන් ඇවිල්ලා මෙතන විහිළු කරන්න ලෑස්ති වෙනවා.
මේ නැවත පදිංචි කිරීමේ ක්‍රියාවලියේදී
In this resettlement process, if people are given the opportunity to find land and build houses themselves, they will definitely allocate a smaller amount for the land and a larger amount for the house. As a matter of issue, such crisis could recur.
වැඩි මුදලක් නිවාසයට වෙන් කිරීමේ ප්‍රශ්නයක් විදිහට යලි යලිත් මෙවැනි
Honorable Amina Prasad, your time is up.
සුනාමියට සාපේක්ෂව විදේශ ආධාර ලැබී තියෙන්නේ.
Compared to the tsunami, the foreign aid received is less than 1% relative to the damage and losses we sustained. During the tsunami, foreign aid exceeded 80%. When a massive disaster has occurred, how can we rise from this fallen state without either aid or wealth created by ourselves?
ධනයක් නැතුව අපි කොහොමද මේ වැටිච්ච තැනින් ගොඩ එන්නේ?
What is the opposition doing in the midst of this? This is the explanation given in Parliament today by Deputy Minister Kaushalya Ariyaratne.
We're dealing with a group of people whose lives we've saved and who are struggling to rebuild while facing immense trauma. In such a case, morality is not about setting up a camera and without asking the divisional secretary, the Graman Eldari or the development officer on the ground, asking the people if they ate or when they're going home. Furthermore, it is being said at this time that the aid we have received is insufficient and that international aid is not forthcoming. I would like to say that a picture was being painted for the whole world that this failed. An attempt was made to create an image for the whole world that this happened because the government did not fulfill its responsibility. When you create such images, publish fake news and are in a position where the media is being rejected by a vast number of people, how can you say that the media is fulfilling its responsibility?
Meanwhile, the Janabalaya Samuhika also expressed its views on the behaviour of certain opposition parties at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
අපි තනි පුද්ගලයා විදියට හරි නැත්නම් අර පෙච්චා සංවිධානවලට විදියට හරි කරපු වැඩ කොටසෙන්
We would like to ask whether the opposition group intervened during this national disaster, even in 1% of the work we did as individuals or voluntary organizations, or whether this opposition helped or supported us in overcoming it. Recently, we saw how Sajid Premadasa was discussing on how subsidies was given by the government. He has set up a small office and is doing these things. Next, we see that Namal Rajapaksa has started supervising the work flagged by the media. Will things be done properly or not? I am asking, is this the role of the opposition? Is this the role that should be played during a national disaster as a responsible opposition?
මේකද ජාතික ව්‍යසනයක් මැද්දේ කරන්න ඕනේ කාර්යභාරය.
Professor Nirmal Ranjit Devasiri points out that a group of people is trying to prevent the government from becoming politically established.
එකිනෙකට පරස්පර විරෝධී බලවේග තමයි මේ එකතු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ.
These are contradictory forces that have come together. They have not united for the people's aspirations. They want, very quickly, to prevent this government from becoming politically established. They have launched a propaganda campaign through media institutions. In particular, these media institutions aim to create a very negative image of this government. It is clear that they are manipulating disasters and weather issues, trying to shape public perception of this government through ideas based on their own agendas. This is a situation we should expect. Within this context, the government faces a significant challenge. It must be politically sensitive in handling this issue.
මේ තත්ත්වය ඇතුලේ ආණ්ඩුවට විශාල අභියෝගයක් තිබෙනවා. ආණ්ඩුවට අභියෝගයක් තිබෙනවා මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් දේශපාලන වශයෙන් සංවේදී.
Vidarshana Kannangara explained the conspiracy against the government's mandate.
We're now seeing a propaganda campaign by groups playing an opposition role and using the media against the government's mandate. This was particularly evident in the Ranwala incident, where there was a clear attempt to target several ministers and undermine the public's trust in government procedures. We observed in the Ranwala incident that the police were clearly involved, using biased methods typically of their previous actions. There is a specific plan to target these ministers and representatives, turning even minor incidents into major scandals. Therefore, we do not see a progressive opposition that could be suitable for a future government. This is a rotten opposition, corrupt and malicious groups that the people have rejected. The public knows about this, about Namal Rajapaksa, Sajid Premadasa and other opposition figures such as Dilip Jayveera's attempting to assume opposition roles. Consequently, the people recognize that this government is morally superior. We say that this government has a critical responsibility. It is surrounded by a vast and notorious media operation and the deliberate politics of notorious opposition groups. The government is like an island, under attack from all sides, and must be extremely careful in governance and politics. If managed correctly, this is an ideological battlefield, and the government must learn how to navigate it effectively.
ඒක හරියට ගත්තොත් නිකන් යුද පිටියක right ඒ කියන්නේ අපි ගත්තොත් මතවාදී යුද පිටියක මේකේ ආණ්ඩුව හැසිරෙන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද මම හිතනවා ආණ්ඩුව ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ මේක.
The Colombo High Court scheduled the case filed against former Minister Namal Rajapaksa, who is accused of misappropriating 70 million rupees received through the controversial Krish transaction for the 16th of February next year. The case was called before High Court Judge Nadi Aparna Suwadurugota today.
During today's proceedings, the prosecution handed over to the defense several key documents required for the trial. After considering submissions, the judge fixed the matter to be called again on the 16th of February. The indictment filed by the Attorney General on the 5th of February alleges that Namal Rajapaksa fraudulently misused 70 million rupees obtained from India's Krish company, purportedly for promoting rugby in Sri Lanka.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
DP World Men's Under-19 Asia Cup 2025. අවසන් පූර්ව වටේ ශ්‍රී ලංකාව සහ ඉන්දියාව අතර තරගය හෙට උදෑසන 10:30ට TV1 ඔස්සේ සජීවීව www.sirasatv.lk වෙබ් අඩවිය ඔස්සේද නැරඹිය හැක.
Welcome back, you're watching Primetime News. 25 Sri Lankans who are victims of human trafficking in cybercrime centers in Myanmar, Myanmar have been repatriated.
The Embassy and Permanent Mission of Sri Lanka in Bangkok, working closely with the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism and the Embassy of Sri Lanka in Myanmar, has successfully rescued and repatriated 25 Sri Lankan nationals who were victims of human trafficking in cybercrime centers in Myawaddy, Myanmar. The individuals were safely returned to Sri Lanka on the 16th of December, following weeks of coordinated diplomatic and operational efforts. The rescue was facilitated through close collaboration with Thai authorities, including the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Social Development, National Security Council, Tak province officials and immigration authorities. Sri Lanka's ambassador to Thailand, Vijayanti Edrisinghe, and embassy officials played a pivotal role in securing clearances and ensuring the orderly return of the victims. The mission expressed deep appreciation to the governments of Thailand and Myanmar for their cooperation and acknowledged the support of the International Organization for Migration and international NGOs based in Mae Sot, Thailand, for assisting with air travel and logistical arrangements. Myanmar's military leadership, under growing international pressure, vowed to wipe out the industrial-scale cyber scam centers that have taken root in the country. They started by raiding and then bombing KK Park, a notorious compound that has become a symbol of impunity in the battle against one of the most lucrative criminal industries in the world.
The President's Award for Scientific Research for the year 2025 were presented today.
The President's Awards for Scientific Research was held today under the patronage of the Minister of Science and Technology, Professor Krishanta Bisena.
The Ministry of Science and Technology has over the past few years taken concentrate steps to strengthen the national research ecosystem. Despite fiscal challenges, we have increased investments in research compared to previous years, signaling our commitment to science as a driver of national progress. These investments are not merely financial allocations, they are statements of trust in our scientific community. At the same time, we recognize that investment without direction can lead to fragmentation and waste. Therefore, I am pleased to inform you that the Ministry is in the final stages of formulating a comprehensive national research and innovation policy, R&D policy, to be published soon.
We live in an era where the strength of a nation is no longer measured solely by its natural resources, but by its capacity for innovation. The challenges we face, from climate resilience and food security to the complexities of the digital economy, cannot be solved by intuition alone. They require the precision and evidence-based rigor that only scientific research provides. Your work represents the intellectual infrastructure of Sri Lanka. When you discover a more resilient crop or an efficient energy solution, you are doing more than publishing a paper. You are directly enhancing the life of every citizen.
Awards were presented for 100 research reports in a number of fields including engineering, medical sciences, physical and chemical sciences, agriculture and apparel for the year 2021.
The 5G spectrum auction was held in Colombo today. The Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka announced that the government will receive a total revenue of 15,295.5 million Sri Lankan rupees, including spectrum fees and other related charges.
The auction was conducted for spectrum blocks in the 3,500 MHz and 27 GHz frequency bands. Dialog Axiata PLC and SLT Mobitel acquired blocks in the 3,500 MHz band, with each frequency block auctioning at a price of 5.175 billion rupees. Additionally, Dialog Axiata PLC secured blocks in the 27 GHz band for a sum of 310.5 million rupees. Accordingly, the direct revenue generated from the 5G spectrum auction amounted to 10,660.5 million rupees. The Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka noted that when including spectrum fees and other regulatory charges, the total revenue accrued to the government stands at 15,295.5 million rupees. Successful bidders will have the opportunity to settle these payments in installments through till 2029.
President Donald Trump promised Americans an economic boom in an address to the nation on Wednesday, while blaming Democratic predecessor Joe Biden for high prices that have hit the Republicans' popularity.
11 months ago, I inherited a mess, and I'm fixing it. When I took office, inflation was the worst in 48 years, and some would say in the history of our country, which caused prices to be higher than ever before, making life unaffordable for millions and millions of Americans. This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody, crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before. They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down and bringing them down very fast.
Trump claims that before his election, Americans suffered under corrupt politicians who exploited taxpayers and weakened systems. He asserts that under his leadership, America is putting America first and making America great again.
For so long as before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized society function. But not anymore, and you see that every day, not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great again. Very simple. We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is secure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected, and our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. There could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began just 1 year ago. When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before.
The semi-final matches of the Under-19 Asia Cup Cricket Tournament will be held tomorrow in Dubai.
India and Sri Lanka will compete in the first semi-final match of the Under-19 Asia Cup Cricket Tournament. Pakistan will take on Bangladesh in the other semi-final match. Both matches are scheduled to begin tomorrow at 10:30 AM local time. You can catch all the live action of the tournament on TV1 and online via www.sirasatv.lk, the official local broadcast rights holder of the tournament.
And with that, we'll wrap up Primetime News for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.